Today we will discuss the tragic plot, its structure and elements. First of all, we'll talk about the definition of the plot. In the Poetics, Aristotle has devoted a considerable part or has given a considerable attention to the examination, nature, structure, and the constituent elements of the ideal tragic plot. Tragedy is the representation of an action that consists of incidents and events. Therefore, we can say that plot is the arrangement of these incidents and events. The plot, we can say, or it may be said, that contains the kernel of the action, which is the business of the tragedy to represent. Hence, the primary importance of plot and the extended treatment which it receives at the hands of the Greek philosopher. He says that plot is the first principle and the soul of tragedy, and that there can be no tragedy without a plot. He has given 6 formative elements of a tragedy, that are plot, character, thought, melody, diction, spectacle, and of these his 6 he assigns the first place to plot. Then is the poet, who is the maker of the plot. The Greek word for poet means a maker, and the poet is a maker not because he makes verses but because he makes plots. The poet is a maker and he makes the plot in the true sense of the word. Aristotle has differentiated between story and plot. The poet need not make his story. Indeed, it would be better if he chooses a traditional story and then proceeds to make out of it his own plot. Stories taken from history, mythology, or legend are to be preferred, for they are familiar and easy to understand, and they serve as guidelines for characterization. After choosing the story or having invented it, the artist must subject it to a process of artistic selection and ordering. Only the relevant incidents and situations are to be selected, and they are to be arranged in a way that they seem to follow each other necessarily and inevitably. And the incidents that are to be chosen should be serious and weighty, that is, of some importance and not trivial, as the tragedy is an imitation of a serious action, and that which brings out or arouses the tragic emotions of pity and fear. Then is plot and its artistic wholeness. Aristotle has laid down the tragic plot, laid down and said that the tragic plot must be a complete whole. By complete, he means that the plot must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It must have a beginning, that is, it must not necessarily follow out of some previous situation. There might be earlier parts of the story, the antecedents, and they may be communicated by the dramatist in due course. But the beginning must be clear and intelligible, even without them. It must not provoke us to ask why and how this has happened. After the beginning comes the middle. A middle is something that is subsequent upon a situation and that has gone before, and which is followed by the catastrophe. The middle is everything between the first incident and the last. The middle is followed by the end, and the end is that which is consequent upon a given situation, but which is not followed by any further incident or situation. Therefore, we can say that the beginning must logically lead to the end, and that the artistic wholeness implies that logical link up of the various incidents, events, and situations that form the plot. Then next is the magnitude of the plot. Aristotle then, when comes to the question of the magnitude of the plot, he says that the plot must have a certain magnitude. It must have a certain length, that is, certain size. It should be neither too small nor too large. It should be long enough to allow the process of change from happiness to misery initiated by the beginning, and to be properly completely developed, but not too long for memory to encounter it as a whole. If it is too long, the beginning would be forgotten, and if it is too small, its different parts will not be clearly distinguishable from each other. Within these limits, the plot should be as large as possible, larger than the better. Magnitude also implies order and proportion, and as in the case of a living organism, beauty and order depend upon magnitude. The different parts must properly relate to each other and to the whole. Therefore, magnitude implies that the plot must have order, logic, symmetry and perspicuity. Then is the organic unity of action. Aristotle has conceived that the plot of a tragedy should be an organic whole, and also having some organic unity in its action. An action is a process of change from happiness to misery or vice versa. The incidents impart variety and unity that results from the fact that the incidents are so arranged that they all tend to the same end or catastrophe. The plot therefore must also have the organic unity, that is, the unity which is like a living creature. The unity which he prescribes is not a mere mechanical formal unity of parts, but an inward principle that is capable of admitting the complexity of living things while possessing also the vital relation of their parts. Therefore, the plot may have variety but still have unity. This unity arises from the fact that every event, every incident has a logical connection with the rest of the action, and secondly, none of them is irrelevant, that is such that its presence or absence will make no difference to the plot. There might be or there can be episodes that are necessary, for they impart variety and serve to lengthen out the plot, but then they must be properly integrated with the main action. It must not be possible to remove them or even to transpose them without causing injury to the plot. That is, they should be an integral part of the plot. The organic unity cannot be provided merely by the presence of the tragic hero, for many incidents may happen in the life of the hero which cannot be brought into relation with the rest. So, there should be a proper sifting and ordering of material. The dramatist can handle time much more freely. He may begin in the middle of the life history of the hero instead of beginning at the very beginning of his life and continuing till the end. Thank you. We will talk about the other elements of the tragic plot in our next lecture.